Before we dive into this life-changing message, please make sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss a sign that is meant for you. Now, listen closely. Did you know that the absolute worst season of your life, the one where you felt completely abandoned, isolated, and broken beyond repair, was actually a qualification process for the greatest blessing you could ever imagine? Most people have no idea, but what I'm about to share with you could change the way you view your entire life story forever. Imagine waking up tomorrow and realizing that every tear you cried was actually watering the seeds of a massive victory that is blooming right now. Imagine realizing that while you thought you were being buried, you were actually being planted. Sounds impossible. Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why you had to go through what you went through, and you will see that the results are not just good, they are excellent. You see, there is a very specific phenomenon that happens to a specific group of people, often called the chosen ones. You might have heard this term before, but I need you to understand it differently today. Being chosen isn't about ego or being better than anyone else. It is about having a specific assignment on your life that requires a specific kind of character. And because you have this heavy calling, you had to go through a heavy testing. But here is the jaw-dropping truth that most people miss. The test you just went through, the one that almost took you out, the one that made you question your sanity and your faith, that was God's hardest test. And the most shocking part, you passed it. You passed it unknowingly. You thought you were failing because you were struggling. You thought you were being punished because things were going wrong. But in the spiritual realm, the struggle wasn't a sign of rejection. It was a sign of refinement. Let's talk about what this test actually looked like, because I know if you are watching this, you will resonate with every single word I am about to say. The test usually starts with isolation. Suddenly, and without a clear reason, people started falling out of your life. Long-term friendships ended over petty disagreements. Family members started acting strange toward you. You found yourself feeling like a misunderstood outcast, even in crowded rooms. You might have spent nights wondering what was wrong with you, asking yourself why you couldn't just fit in like everyone else. You tried to fix it. You tried to lower your standards to keep people around, but nothing worked. This was the first stage of the test. God had to separate you to elevate you. You see, the destination you are heading to is a place where those people cannot go. If they had stayed, they would have become anchors, dragging you down, or distractions pulling you off course. You passed this part of the test by learning to stand alone even if it hurt. You learned that your company is better than toxic company. You learned to find solace in your own presence. Then came the second phase of the test, the silence. This is the hardest part for many. This is where you prayed, you manifested, you visualized, you did everything right, and yet nothing happened. It felt like your prayers were hitting a glass ceiling. You saw everyone around you getting blessed. You saw people with half your talent, half your heart, and half your integrity getting the promotions, the relationships, and the opportunities you deserved. And you sat there in the silence waiting. This is the test of patience and trust. It is easy to trust God when the sun is shining and the bank account is full. But can you trust Him when the account is empty and the future is foggy? The fact that you are here, listening to this, proves you didn't give up. You might have cried, you might have screamed, you might have had moments of doubt, but you did not walk away from your destiny. You kept going. That means you passed. There is a relatable scenario that I want you to picture. Imagine a diamond. Before it becomes a diamond, it is just a piece of carbon. It looks like nothing special, but then it gets buried deep within the earth. It is subjected to intense heat and crushing pressure. If that piece of carbon had consciousness, it would think the world was ending. It would feel like it was being destroyed. It wouldn't know that the pressure wasn't there to kill it. The pressure was there to transform it. You have been in the pressure cooker. You have felt the heat. You have felt the weight of the world on your shoulders. And you thought it was unfair. You asked, why me? Why do I always have to struggle? Why does nothing come easy for me? But here is the revelation. The intensity of the pressure is proof of the value of the diamond. If you were made of glass, you would have shattered a long time ago. But you didn't shatter. You are still standing. You absorbed the pressure, and it crystallized your spirit. You have become unbreakable. Now, let's talk about the unknowingly part, because this is crucial. Why didn't God tell you it was a test? Why did He let you believe you were just having bad luck? Because a test isn't a true test if you have the answer key. If you knew that in exactly 6 months you would be a millionaire, you would handle being broke with a smile. It would be easy, but that wouldn't build character. It wouldn't build true faith. Faith is believing in the light when all you see is darkness. God had to hide the outcome from you to see who you really are when no one is watching and when no reward is guaranteed. And look at who you were. Even when you were hurting, you were kind to others. Even when you had little, you shared what you had. Even when your heart was breaking, you tried to heal others. Do you realize how rare that is? That is why you are the chosen one. Most people, when they get hurt, they want to hurt others. Hurt people, but you broke that cycle. You decided that the pain stops with you. You absorbed the negativity of your bloodline, of your environment, and you transmuted it into love and wisdom. You didn't become bitter, you became better. That was the test, and you passed it with flying colors. So, what does this mean for you right now? The title of this video says the results are excellent, and I need you to feel this in your bones. When you pass a divine test of this magnitude, the reward is not just a little pat on the back. We are talking about a shift in your entire reality. We are talking about Job levels of restoration. In the ancient texts, Job lost everything: his health, his wealth, his family. It was a test, and because he remained faithful, because he didn't curse God, everything was returned to him double. You are entering your season of double portion. The energy has shifted. Can you feel it? It might feel subtle at first, like the air changing before a storm, but this is a storm of blessings. The first result you will notice is a sudden clarity. The brain fog is lifting. For a long time you felt confused, indecisive, unable to see the next step. But now your intuition is sharpening. You are going to just know things. You will look at people and see right through their masks. You will look at opportunities and know instantly if they are for you or not. This discernment is a gift you earned by walking through the darkness. You navigated the dark for so long that your eyes have adjusted to see things others cannot see. You are going to make moves in business, in relationships, and in your creative life that make no sense to others. But they will yield massive results because you are guided by a higher intelligence. Now, the next result is the opening of doors that were previously welded shut. Remember those rejections. Remember the jobs you didn't get, the loans that were denied, the people who said no. You are going to look back and thank God for those no's, because they were protecting you for the yes. That is coming now. This yes is so big it will make up for every rejection you ever faced. You are being positioned for environments that you are technically unqualified for on paper, but spiritually overqualified for. You are going to find yourself in rooms with people of high influence, high wealth, and high vibration, and you will realize you belong there. The imposter syndrome is going to die because you will realize your suffering was your schooling. You have a PhD in resilience. No one can teach you what you learned in the trenches. Another excellent result of passing this test is a newfound sense of peace. This is the peace that surpasses all understanding. It means that even if chaos is happening around you, it can't get inside you anymore. You have faced the worst, so you no longer fear the little things. This fearlessness makes you magnetic. People are going to be drawn to you like moths to a flame. They will wonder what your secret is. They will ask, how are you so calm? How are you glowing like that? You won't even have to try to attract things, they will just pursue you. This is the law of the universe. When you vibrate at the frequency of gratitude and trust, which you learned through your test, the universe rushes to match that frequency with abundance. I want to speak directly to the person who is still feeling a little bit of the residue of the test. Maybe you are watching this and you're thinking, this sounds great, but I'm still tired, I'm exhausted, listen to me. That exhaustion is spiritual fatigue from fighting a war you didn't start. It is okay to rest, but do not quit. You are at the very end of the marathon. You know that feeling when you run a long distance, and the last mile is actually the hardest. But once you cross the finish line, the endorphins kick in and you feel better than ever. You are in that last mile. The enemy, and by enemy I mean the negative forces, the self, doubt, the external obstacles always fights the hardest right before your breakthrough. If the pressure has intensified in the last few weeks, if things seem to be going crazy right now, celebrate. It's a sign, it's the final exam, and you already know the material, you just have to hold the line. Let's go deeper into the unknowingly aspect, because this is where the magic lies. You didn't barter with God. You didn't say, I'll be a good person if you give me $1 million. You were a good person when you had $0. You were a good person when your heart was shattered. That purity of heart is what unlocked the excellent results. The universe cannot deny a pure heart. It is energetic law. What you put out, you must get back, multiplied. You have been putting out resilience, faith, love, and forgiveness for years. You have been sowing seeds in the winter, shivering in the cold, wondering if anything would ever grow. And now, spring has arrived. The harvest is not just coming, it is here. You are going to see restoration in your relationships. But it won't necessarily be the old people coming back, though sometimes it is. It will be new people who match your new frequency. You passed the test of letting go of toxic attachments, so now you are rewarded with soul connections. People who see you, who value you, who pour into you just as much as you pour into them. No more one-sided relationships. No more begging for the bare minimum. You are royalty, and you are about to be treated as such. You are going to see restoration in your finances. The financial struggle was often part of the test to break your dependence on money and build your dependence on Source. Now that you know Source is your supplier, the money can flow without corrupting you. You can be trusted with wealth now. You won't use it to hurt others. You will use it to empower. God is about to fund your purpose, that business idea you have. It's going to work. That creative project, it's going to go viral. That investment, it's going to grow. Because the hands that are touching it have been purified by the fire. I need you to understand that being a chosen one often feels like a curse before it feels like a blessing. You felt like the black sheep. You felt like the scapegoat. You absorbed the trauma of your family. You were the one who broke the generational curses. Do you know how much energy that takes? To stand in a bloodline where everyone has been addicted or depressed or broke or angry for generations and say, it stops with me, that is a heroic act. That is why the attack was so heavy. The darkness doesn't attack empty houses, it attacks the treasure. You are the treasure. The intensity of the opposition you faced is proof of the magnitude of your destiny. So, walk with your head high. You are not a victim. You are a victor. You have walked through the valley of the shadow of death, and you didn't set up camp there. You kept walking. You passed God's hardest test, the test of the heart, the test of faith, the test of endurance. And the results are in. The verdict is excellent. What should you do now? How do you receive these results? You receive them by shifting your expectation. Stop expecting the other shoe to drop. Stop waking up waiting for bad news. That is a trauma response. You need to retrain your brain to expect miracles. Wake up and say, something wonderful is going to happen to me today. Look for the good. When you look for the good, you acknowledge the shift, and you invite more of it in. Start acting like the person you are becoming. If you absolutely knew that you had passed the test and your reward was in the mail, how would you walk? How would you talk? You wouldn't be anxious. You would be excited. You would be grateful. Adopt that posture now. Gratitude is the magnet for miracles. Be aware that as you step into this new chapter, some people from your past might try to come back. They sense your light brightening. They sense the shift. Use your discernment. Remember the lessons from the isolation phase. Not everyone is coming with you to the top of the mountain. Some people were lessons, not destinations. Forgive them, love them from a distance if you must, but protect your peace. Your peace is the platform upon which your new life is being built. You have to realize that this entire journey was written. Nothing that happened to you was an accident. The betrayal, necessary to teach you independence. The loss, necessary to make room for the new. The delay, necessary to build your patience so you wouldn't mishandle the blessing. It was all orchestrated. And now that you see the full picture, or at least the outline of it, you can look back at your past with gratitude instead of resentment. When you can look at your trauma and say thank you for what you taught me, you are fully healed, and a healed chosen one is the most powerful force on the planet. You are about to step into a season of flow. Struggle is over. Flow is beginning. Flow is when you don't have to force things. You take a step and the bridge appears. You speak a word and the right person hears it. You have an idea and the resources show up. This is the reward for the years of pushing a boulder up a hill. The boulder is gone. You are standing on the peak. Enjoy the view. I want you to take a moment right now, wherever you are, to just breathe. Inhale deeply and exhale the stress of the last few years. Let it go. It's over. The test is over. The grading is done. You have graduated. Feel the lightness entering your body. That is the feeling of God's favor. It's a warm blanket of assurance that says, I am with you, I am for you, and I have prepared a table for you in the presence of your enemies. Don't let anyone tell you that your suffering was for nothing. It was the raw material for your palace. You are the architect of your future now, but you are building with materials that have been fire-tested. You are not building a straw house that the wolf can blow down. You are building a fortress. As we come to the close of this message, I want to remind you of who you are. You are a child of the Most High. You are a chosen one. You are a survivor of the silent battles. You are a warrior who fought in the dark so you could shine in the light. The world is waiting for your gift. The world is waiting for your story. Because your story, the one where you didn't give up, the one where you kept believing, that story is going to save someone else. That is the ultimate purpose. You went through it so you could pull others through it. So, get ready. Check your mail, check your phone, check your spirit. The news is coming. The breakthrough is breaking. The excellent results are manifesting. Claim it, own it, walk in it. If this message resonated with your spirit, if you felt those chills that confirm the